how successful people become even more successful. In these series of talks, I have spoken about certain rules, and today I shall speak on some special challenges in a similar discipline. And I said how to handle. My friend, it's a technique which every CEO, every boss should learn. Wouldn't it be great if all bosses come with similar warning? Wouldn't be even more better if they were sufficiently self-possessed that they could write the warning themselves, the bosses, I mean. Imagine a workplace where the boss tells you, listen, I like to punish the messenger. So be very careful when you bring me some bad news or a negative report. I'll probably bite you. I'll bite your head off, even though I know it's not your fault. Just imagine. I know one of the self-made men who has a very volcanic temper. The slightest annoyance can set him off. Just throwing his temper, we are so short-tempered, getting angry on everybody. But the rage dies down as quickly as it erupted. Immediately, he will say something hot, something very, uh, in fact, to the degree of abusive, shouting people, and immediately after a second, he will cool down and become very normal. To him, this tantrum acted as a release valve, and I've seen him when he is when he's lost it, and it's not a pretty a picture, not at all a pretty picture. He His employees have been to know to burst out into tears during one of his such tirades many times. To his credit, he regains his composure instantly and always tells his staff, I'm not mad at you, I'm just mad. And now it's over and forgotten. You know me well, it's just my habit. I'm sorry if we had to be here to witness a little bit of this is phony, my friend. One probably is angry at something a staffer has done, but he's smart enough to let them know that he is behaving like a idiot, like a jerk, and they ought to simply ignore it. I agree. This is a sort of candor of this sort of candor of admirable, because it features a boss trying to get better by admitting to a managerial shortcoming, telling the colleagues and helping them deal with it. It's strange, you see, and I don't think it is acceptable anywhere. So what I suggested him? I told him one day, you do one thing. After having feedback from his all employees, written feedback, and I read it without disclosing to him about the feedback. And I asked my friend, the top man there, that what you do. I asked him to to imagine the feedbacks I would have gotten from your uh, employees from a department, your assistants, your all those who are working with you. What would they say, good or bad, about you? I said, you do one thing. Then I asked him to write it down as if it were a memo to his next prospective assistant title, how to handle me. Simple, he must write it down. How he thinks what his employees must be thinking about to him, and he should write in two short paragraphs or one paragraph how to handle me. And my dear, he wrote so much that it's good that I'm good with people and even better with ideas. If any customer or client have a problem, it's my job to come with a creative solution. I'm bad at everything else, nothing more. I hate paperwork. On the personal side, he writes, I am a decent, polite human being. I will never yell at anyone when things are going well and we are pushed off. I pushed off a few muscles, a few shots, and just forget about it. I actually don't mean it. My friend, how naive he was. Many a times, remember, the gap between what a boss says about himself and what the staff believes is wide, is very wide. The most obvious disconnect I feel is when the staff concludes that the boss's opinion of how he wants to be handled is either fantasy or a wishful thinking and nothing more than that. And the other disconnect is more subtle. It occurs when the boss's self-assessment is accurate but simply irrelevant. How to handle me. When you write, my friend, remember, writing a memo, how to handle me, to the staff is not only an admirable expertise in self-examination, but a surefire method for stimulating dialogue with the troops. However, be careful. Your memo has to be brutally honest. Your employees has to believe it's accurate. And most importantly, my friend, they must believe that it matters. Anything less on all three counts and your way as well as then you I would say you might as well keep your instructions to yourself, your memo to yourself. It will have no meaning. Try and reduce this disconnect between your perception about what employees feeling and what you actually feel about them, and by writing a small memo how to handle me, forewarning them, and I'm sure you will become even more successful. Thank you very much.